Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare, performed by the students of Quinn 08C. We've got Act 1, Scene 1.
The crashing sound of metal against metal echoes off cobblestones. Two feuding households, the Capulets and the
Montagues.
Montagues cross swords again. Fighting explodes in the streets of Verona.
Youths dressed in their family's colors slash at one another. Market stalls are overturned. Screaming mothers and children flee.
Benvolio, a young Montague, rushes in to prevent more bloodshed. He beats his sword down on top of two youths' weapons.
Part, you fools! Haven't you learned yet what this fighting will lead to?
Dog of the house of Montague, prepare to die!
Put away your sword! I am trying to keep the peace.
You expect me to believe that? Coward!
What noise is this? Here comes Montague, swinging his blade. Give me my sword.
No, I beg you.
Villain, stand forth.
Stop, not again.
As the fighting grows more intense, Verona's people cry out.
The prince comes riding through the town on horseback.
Ridiculous subjects. Enemies of peace, you men have beasts. Throw your weapons to the ground.
The prince angrily warns Lords Capulet and Montague.
This ancient grub your family's bear has too often brought blame shade to our town. You hear me? If you disturb peace one more time, you will pay your lives. Now, on point of death, all men depart.
All right, we have Scene 2, Act 1.
The Montagues bring in their wounded.
Where's Romeo? Was he involved in this fight, Benvolio?
No, I don't think so. I saw him early this morning wandering around in the woods with tears in his eyes. You go on. I'll see what I can find out. Good morning, cousin.
Is it still morning? The hours seem so long.
What makes them long, friend? What's the matter?
Love.
You're in love?
Out of it. She won't have me.
She? Who?
What difference does it make? She's beautiful, wise, and fair, but she keeps it all to herself.
Then forget her. There are plenty of other beauties. Take a new one to your eye, and the poison of your sadness will die.
You think that will cure me?
Sure. Listen, I hear Lord Capulet is having a party tonight. All the prettiest girls in Verona will be there. Let's invite ourselves.
Montagues at the capital's house will never be tolerated.
It's a masquerade. We'll wear masks, like everyone else.
My heart's not in it.
Come on, you gotta snap out of this before the moon is low. The maid you thought a swan you'll find is really just a crow.
I doubt it, but yes, I'll go.
So we're going to have Scene 3.
The Capulet household bustles with preparations for the party. Lady Capulet enters Juliet's room.
Juliet, come, I must speak with you. Tell me, nurse, do you know my daughter's age?
Of course. Juliet was the prettiest that I ever cared for. She's nearly 14. I bet 14 in my teeth, that's how old she is. But then, I only have 4 teeth left.
14 years. Juliet, have you thought of marrying?
It is an honor I haven't dreamed of, Mother.
Well, dream, my dear. Count Paris, kinsman of the prince, has asked for your hand.
Paris, a handsome man.
But I don't even know him.
Your father wants to promise you to him. Marry Paris, and you'll share all he has.
Juliet continues to frown.
Well, Count Paris will be at the party tonight. Look and see if you can love him.
If you wish, I'll try.
Scene 4.
That evening, Romeo and Benvolio are joined by their friend Mercutio. All three head toward the Capulets for the masked dance.
Come on, cousin. Stop dragging your feet.
I'm not up for this.
The eternal lover, not up for a party full of young women? Borrow Cupid's wings and fly, man.
My heart is like lead.
Lighten up, Romeo. We're almost there. Put on your mask.
Romeo stops suddenly.
I really shouldn't go. Misgivings hang in the stars.
Now what's bothering you?
I had a dream.
Dreams are the children of an idle brain. They often lie.
No, really. I feel some ultimately death.
Shake it off. You're depressing us.
For your sakes, I'll try, but may he that steers my course direct my sail.
Scene 5.
In this great hall, Lord Capulet seeks to undo the ill humor of the day's street brawl.
Welcome all. Musicians play. Turn out the tables. Let's dance.
While Benvolio and Mercutio flirt with the young women, Romeo stands alone in one corner.
Suddenly he notices Juliet dancing. Romeo is instantly taken with her beauty.
The lady teaches the torches to burn bright. Has my heart ever been loved till now? I never saw beauty till this night.
Romeo secretly follows Juliet all evening. She is intrigued by his stares and is drawn to him.
Tybalt, a hot-headed Capulet youth, notices Romeo's flirting. Furious, he alerts Lord Capulet.
Uncle, a foe is here, a villain Montague. He comes to scorn us.
Looks like Romeo. He's well enough behaved. Leave him alone. I don't want to start anything.
I will not endure him.
What? I am the master here. I decide what you'll endure.
This trespass burns inside of me.
Later, Romeo catches Juliet alone for a moment. Accidentally, he brushes her hand.
Forgive me if my hand offends you. I would smooth my rough touch with tenderness.
Good pilgrim, you do wrong your hand too much. Even saints have hands that pilgrims. Hands to touch, why palm to palm in prayer, hand and hand to seem to kiss.
Then by all means, let your palm touch mine.
Romeo and Juliet reach out, tenderly placing the palms of their hands together, but are suddenly interrupted by Juliet's nurse.
Juliet, your mother wants a word with you.
Reluctantly, Juliet goes. The nurse starts to follow her, but is stopped by Romeo.
Madam, who is her mother?
Why, the lady of the house.
A capital?
Romeo, we've got to leave. They know who we are. Come quickly.
As the three young men slip out, Juliet turns to her nurse.
Nurse, who is that man?
His name is Romeo, the only son of Lord Montague.
And my only love. Son of my enemy? No, it cannot be.
Romeo and Juliet, scene 6.
Romeo cannot forget Juliet. Like a man possessed, he roams outside the Capulet. Boldly he climbs a wall and lands in an orchard.
Suddenly he spies a balcony door opening.
But soft, what light through yonder window breaks? Why, it is the east, and Juliet is the sun. It is my lady. Look how she leans her cheek on her hand. I wish I were a glove upon that hand.
Ah, me.
She speaks. Speak again, bright angel.
Romeo, oh Romeo, why must you be named Romeo? Refuse your father's name, or if you cannot, swear your love to me, and I'll no longer be a Capulet.
Shall I speak?
It's only your name that's my enemy. But what's in your name? A rose by any other name would smell as sweet. Be rid of your name and come to me.
I will take you at your word. Call me your love, and I'll no longer be a Montague.
Who's there?
How can I tell you who I am? My name is an enemy to you.
I haven't heard 100 words from you, yet I know your voice. Romeo, did you get in here? If my relatives find you, they'll murder you.
Night will hide me. Even so, if they find me, I'd rather die by their hate than live without your love.
I blush to think you heard what I said before. I should have been more reserved, but in truth, I am too fond of you. Do you love me? Say so, and I'll take you at your word.
Romeo instantly scrambles up a tree to be closer to Juliet.
I swear by the moon.
Oh, don't swear by the moon. It changes constantly, unless, of course, your love is changeable.
Never, my lady. But what shall I swear by?
Yourself, which I worship.
My heart is...
No, wait. On second thought, this is too sudden. When next we meet, then our love can bloom as a flower. Good night, sweet dreams.
You're going?
What more will you?
Exchange your faithful vow for mine.
I gave you mine before you even asked for it.
So now you want to take it back?
Only to give it to you again.
Romeo is relieved.
My love is a boundless at the sea. The more I give, the more I have, for both are infinite.
Juliet?
Madam, stay here. I'll be right there. Right back.
Tell me I'm not dreaming.
If your intentions are honorable, if your purpose is marriage, then send me word tomorrow. Tell me where and when the ceremony will be. I'll meet you and will run away.
I will arrange it all.
Juliet, where are you?
Now, good night. Pardon is such a sweet sorrow that I could say good night till it be tomorrow.
Juliet rushes inside.
Sleep well. I'll go see Friar Lawrence. Surely he will marry us.
Scene 7.
Friar Lawrence is in the monastery garden, picking herbs and remedies. Romeo approaches.
Heavens, Romeo, you look as if you've been up all night.
I have been, father, feasting with my enemy, and I fell in love with the daughter of Capulet. She loves me too. We've exchanged vows, and we want to be married.
This is so sudden, my son. I thought you loved another.
I did, but meeting Juliet has changed all that. Will you do it, father? Will you marry us today?
The monk hesitates, thinking, then suddenly he is resolved.
Yes, I'll be your assistant in this. Perhaps a marriage will burn your warning house's hatred to love.
Thank you, father. We'll return this afternoon.
Scene 8. Romeo's friends are hanging out in the town square.
Tybalt recognized Romeo last night. I hear he's looking for him and wants to settle his grudge.
I hope Romeo can handle him. Tybalt is always hot for a duel.
Oh, here comes Romeo now.
Well, look who it is. The disappearing lover. He sure gave us the slip last night.
Give me pardon, friends. My business was great.
You could have at least...
Juliet's nurse enters the square and calls to the young man.
I say, can any tell me where I might find the young Romeo?
I am he.
I'd like to have a word with you.
Ooh, the old biddy wants to ask you out.
You scurvy knife.
Romeo leaves his friends and goes to speak with Juliet's nurse.
Ignore them.
Romeo, listen to me. I hope your intentions with Juliet are pure.
Only the best. Tell my lady to meet me at Friar Lawrence's cell this afternoon. There we will marry.
Bless you. She'll be there.
Scene 9.
Romeo anxiously awaits Juliet's arrival at the monastery.
I hope heaven smiles upon your marriage, and sorrow stays away from your door.
After you join our hands, sorrow can't touch me. 1 minute's joy with Juliet as mine will be worth whatever death may dare.
Don't tempt fate and love moderately, or it will flame up and not as quickly as fire. Now, cool off a bit. Here comes your bride.
Juliet! Tell me, with your sweet breath, are you as happy as I am?
Juliet and Romeo dive for each other, but the friar throws himself between the eager lovers.
My love has grown so much, I cannot contain it.
Romeo and Juliet can't keep their hands off of each other.
Come with me quickly. We'll make short work of this. I dare not leave you two alone.
Romeo and Juliet kneel to receive the sacrament of matrimony.
Scene 10.
It is late afternoon. Romeo's friends once again are in the square.
Let's go to my father's for dinner, Mercutio. It's hot, and the Capulets are roaming about.
Are you afraid of a brawl?
I fear you'll brawl. Oh no. Ugh, it's too late. Here comes Tybalt.
Well, whom do we have here? Romeo's buddies.
What of it?
Men, please, find a private place. Everyone is looking.
Romeo approaches the group.
Here comes the party crasher himself. Romeo, you villain!
Romeo is giddy, having just married Juliet. He thinks only of the night when they will run away.
Tybalt, I am no villain. In fact, I have much reason to love you.
Has he lost his mind?
Do you mock me? Another injury? Turn and draw your sword.
I've never injured you. I hold your name as dear as my own.
Don't grovel at his feet.
Stay out of it, friend.
Tybalt, king of cats, give me one of your lives, rat catcher.
Mercutio and Tybalt brandish swords. Mercutio lashes out, his sword gleaming. Tybalt jumps free.
Cousin, friend, the prince has forbidden such fighting. Hold off.
But as Tybalt returns Mercutio's thrust, Romeo gets in the way. Mercutio's thrown off guard is gooped deeply by Tybalt's blade. Mercutio stumbles and flees.
It's nothing. A mere scratch. Get a doctor. I feel faint.
He's hurt!
A plague on both your houses. They have made worms meat of me.
Romeo bends over his fallen friend, a look of horror on his face.
What? Dead? Oh, black is fate.
Vile Tybalt returns.
Till this moment, Juliet's beauty held me in its spell, but now my fury swells. Tybalt, you are the villain. Mercutio's soul hovers just over our heads. Now I will have you join him.
No, wretch, it will be you.
They fight ferociously. Then Romeo trips, his sword goes flying.
Tybalt rushes at him. Romeo rolls and grips for his sword. Just as Tybalt lunges, Romeo runs him through. Tybalt staggers and falls.
Romeo, be gone, away! The prince will do me to death.
Romeo flees the scene in panic.
Scene 11.
Juliet in her orchard, impatient for the nightfall, and her new husband's return. Suddenly, her nurse approaches, wailing.
Oh, lady, he's dead!
Dead? Who? What are you saying?
Romeo, everyone has thought it.
What? Romeo is slain?
Tybalt was killed.
Tybalt and Romeo are dead?
Tybalt was slain and Romeo was banished. There was fighting. Tybalt slew Mercutio, Romeo killed Tybalt. The princess exiled Romeo.
Romeo's hand shred my cousin's blood?
Shame to Romeo.
Blisters on your tongue, woman. Romeo is my lord.
Do you speak of him that killed your cousin?
Should I speak ill of my husband? Oh, Romeo's banished. I'd rather die.
There, sweet Juliet, go up to your room. Offer Romeo to comfort you. I think I know where he'll hide.
All right. Scene 12.
Romeo has taken refuge with Friar Lawrence. The realization of his deed has struck him.
I never meant to do it, but it was my life or his. Now the prince will take my life.
He has banished you.
Banished? Death would be more merciful.
Don't be so thankless. The world is broad and wide.
But Juliet is here in Verona.
It's not as bad as you think.
If you could feel what I do, maybe you would understand.
A knock comes at the door. Come in, woman. There is Romeo drunk with his own tears.
What does Juliet say? Does she think I am a murderer?
She weeps constantly.
My name has murdered her. Now let me kill it.
Romeo desperately draws his dagger and points it towards his own heart.
Stop it, Romeo. Be a man. Juliet is alive, and you would kill her with your death. Pull yourself together. Now listen, go to Juliet and comfort her, but leave before dawn. Then you can go to mine too and live there until we win the prince's pardon.
Your words revived me.
I'll see to it. Your servants bring you word and mind you from time to time. Now go, farewell.
Scene 13.
The next morning in Juliet's chamber, Romeo awakes to birdsong alarmed. He jumps out of bed.
The morning lark! It's dawn. I must go or stay and die.
It was the nightingale. It can be dawn. Stay a while.
I have more desire to stay than will to go.
Romeo returns to Juliet's arms, but a few minutes later, the bird sings again. This time, both Romeo and Juliet leap out of bed.
It is the lark. Oh, Romeo, you must go. It grows light.
Suddenly, a knock on the door.
Your mother comes.
As Romeo prepares to climb out the window, Juliet gazes deeply into his eyes once more.
My eyes must fail me, for I see you pale as one in a tomb.
It is only sorrow, draining my blood. Fear not, now farewell.
As Romeo climbs out of the window and disappears, Juliet throws herself back on the bed and weeps.
Daughter, are you up?
I am not well.
Lady Capulet enters Juliet's room.
Still grieving for your cousin? You should grieve instead for the villain that killed him. We're gonna have Romeo poisoned in Mantua.
Oh!
Come, Juliet, too much weeping for Tybalt is not good for you. Here's something to bring you joy. Your father has arranged for you to marry Paris on Thursday.
Paris? I'll not wed him. I'd sooner marry Romeo, who I'm supposed to hate.
What is all this?
She won't marry Paris.
Won't do it. Count your blessings, girl. He's a worthy man.
No, please, I beg you.
Is this the thanks I get for making a princely match? You are too proud. Next Thursday, you'll get your joints to church and be wed, or I'll drag you there myself.
Juliet sinks to her knees before her father.
Father, I'm on my knees.
Disobedient wretch.
Lord Capulet raises a hand, about to strike his daughter. His wife stops him.
My lord!
I try to marry her off well, and the whining fool says, I can't. You'll marry Paris or leave my house.
Juliet's parents stride out. The nurse arrives.
Mother, please, Norris, what can I do?
Here's what I think. Romeo's banished, nurse wants to come back. Considering the circumstances, I think it's best to marry Count Paris.
What? You too? Some comfort.
Juliet, realizing she is totally on her own now, begins to plot.
Then amen. Go tell my parents I'm gone to say confession, and tell my father I will be ruled by him.
That's better. I'll tell him.
The nurse leaves to convey Juliet's message to her parents.
Traitor, now you and I are forever parted.
Scene 14.
Juliet, in tears and despair, arrives at the monastery.
Father, come weep with me. Past hope, past cure, past help.
I know of your grief. Paris has been here this morning.
But you joined my heart and Romeo's. To Romeo's. Now tell me of a remedy, for I long to die.
The friar rubs his brow. Then suddenly he stares at his herbs.
I spy a kind of hope. If you are ready to die, would you be willing to pretend to die?
I'd rather be chained up with snakes than marry Paris. I'll do anything to stay faithful to Romeo.
Then listen well. Take this vial of liquid tomorrow night. When you are all alone, drink it. Presently, drowsiness will run through all of your veins. Your pulse will stop, your breathing will halt for 40 hours. You will appear to be dead. Julia is fascinated. When your family comes to wake you up in the morning, they will think you are dead. Meanwhile, I'll send a letter with one of my monks to Romeo. When you wake up in the tomb, your husband will be there to bear you to mourn too.
Father, I thank you. Give me the veil, and God, give me strength.
Scene 15.
On the morning of Juliet's wedding, the nurse tries to wake her, but she finds she's cold and stiff.
Lady, help! My lady's dead!
Lord and Lady Capulet rush in.
What noise is this? My child!
Oh, wretched day! Let me see my daughter. Death flies on her, frost upon the sweetest flowers.
Oh, accursed wicked day!
Bridal flowers must serve her corpse. With my child, all my joy will be buried.
Scene 16.
Romeo's servant, Balthazar, sneaks into the Capulet grounds to deliver a love letter to Juliet. Fear and commotion, he hides behind a bush. Shocked, he sees Juliet's body carried into the Capulet group.
What? Dead? My master will be devastated. I must get back to Mantua and tell him before he hears it from someone else.
Balthazar mounts his horse and rides quickly to Mantua. When he arrives, Romeo runs up to him.
What news from Juliet, man? Is she well? I dreamt as much.
Pardon, sir. How can I say this? I have terrible news. I saw Juliet's dead body laid out in the Capulet's family tomb.
Juliet is dead? How? Why?
I don't know, sir, but her spirit now lives with the angels.
Then I defy you, stars. Balthazar, go hire me a fast horse. I will ride to Verona tonight.
In sadness, Balthazar goes.
And I know a merchant who will sell me poison.
Scene 17.
At nightfall, Romeo steals back to Verona. On the road, his swift horse passes a mob, walking with a slow donkey towards Mantua.
In the saddlebag is the fair's undelivered letter to Romeo. A little later, Romeo arrives at the Capulet cemetery.
Now I will descend into this bed of death.
He draws a crowbar from his horse's bag and begins to pry loose the door to the crypt.
Open your rotten jaws, tomb, and lend me your torch.
Romeo passes dusty, cobwebby corpse and skeletons. Then he sees Target's body.
Forgive me, cousin. I can do you no better favor than to sever the life of the one who slayed you.
Romeo looks past Tybalt and spies Juliet's body. He approaches her and pulls back her shroud.
Oh, my love, my wife, why, your cheek still bears the blush of life. Death has no power over your beauty, and sorrow shall have no power over us. Eyes, look at your last. Arms, take your last embrace.
Romeo takes Juliet's body in his arms.
Come, bitter poison, guide me to my love.
Romeo pulls out the potion he has bought and drinks it. Then he bends his face to Juliet's.
Thus, with a kiss, I die.
Scene 18.
Fair Lawrence sneaks into the crypt to be with Juliet when she wakes.
Why didn't Romeo come to my monastery, as I wrote? What if my monk was delayed? Oh, I fear something dreadful, but there, a horse? Maybe Romeo rode directly here.
The friar takes a torch from the doorway and proceeds inside the tomb. Soon he spots Romeo sprawled on the stone floor, dead.
What kind of hour?
Juliet begins to stir.
Friar, where is Romeo?
Lady, some greater power has foiled our plan. There lies Romeo.
No, Romeo. Dead?
Listen, lady, a noise, the watchman comes. We must go.
No, I will not go.
Friar Lawrence tries unsuccessfully to drag Juliet from the crypt. He finally gives up and flees alone. Juliet bends over Romeo's dead body.
What's this in my true love's hand? A vial of poison. Let me drink the last and join him.
She tries to drink the poison, but finds the vial already empty.
No friendly drop left to me? Then I'll be brief.
Juliet grabs Romeo's knife.
Oh, happy dagger, let me die.
She plunges a dagger into her heart.
Scene 19.
As the morning breaks, word spreads through Verona's streets that Romeo and Juliet are dead. The fire found in the orchard has explained all to the prince.
Capulets and Montagues, both families, converse solemnly in the square. They bear the bodies of the star-crossed lovers to the palace.
See what
Scourge
is led upon us, our hate. Heaven has found a way to kill your joys with love. Because of you, even I lost kinsmen. Now all are punished.
Brother Montague, it is time that we laid our feud to rest. My daughter, who would have wished it, give me your hand.
I will do more. I'll have a statue of Juliet made in pure gold.
And I, one of Romeo. They shall stand side by side, poor sacrifices to our ill will.
To Lords Montague and Capulet, go and talk this out further. Much must be mended. Never has there been a story than this of Juliet and her Romeo.